Hi, beautiful souls. Glorious sunshine today. I hope everyone enjoyed the magnificent moon over the last few days. It's just been so bright, shining so much beauty on the land at night time. Here it's been glistening off the English Channel and just been so radiant. I even saw a sundog around the moon last night, which was delightful. Today I'm sharing a little light on being and doing. Whilst it's vital that we each follow our path in alignment with our purpose and our values whilst we're here, we can never forget the importance of going within and allowing ourselves quality time spent in nature, uplifting ourselves, nurturing ourselves, and receiving the keys and the codes that nature has to offer. We each receive different codes dependent on the being that we are and the experiences that we've had thus far, not just on this experience now in this physical body, but throughout all different time spaces and realities. As I was saying to some friends of mine yesterday, like one person may require, say, 500 keys of like bird energy. Somebody else may require 400 keys. And that's just an example, but we each receive keys from nature which uplift us, that help us to stay calm, to help to keep our nervous systems in a neutral place, to assist us to be regulated and balanced in equilibrium. A person in equilibrium knows to take moments to just rest and be peaceful, to go within. Years ago, and I've probably mentioned this many times before, I used to be in the hospitality industry. I used to run multiple sites. I ran 10 sites at once. I've run big restaurants, bars, pubs, cafes, you name it, I've run them. And during that career, I worked very hard. I worked like a workaholic, very much doing, no being, just constantly at work, assuming that if I wasn't there, it would fall apart, assuming that my energy there was what was needed. And, you know, sometimes doing 15, 16-hour days, 6-hour weeks, 6-day weeks. And it soon wears you down. I would sleep very little. I used to joke about, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Ha 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 ha, what a funny joke that was. And I really destroyed my physical body because I was so unconscious and so unaware that being in a place of doing is harmful to the physical body, to the spirit, to the soul, that we are not human doings, we are human beings, but we are so much more than human anyway. We are multidimensional. And so I urge you to consider your lives right now and how you might bring them more into balance. Because if you are just doing, you are setting yourself up to fall. You may not fall now, but there will be a fall, because believe me, my fall was spectacular. After over 20 years of doing, look at me now. Today I go to the oncologist and I receive information about my last scan, which I actually already know the results of anyway. Receive other intel from the respiratory team and all of this sort of stuff. And at the moment, how I'm feeling is more likely that I will discharge myself from the services of the oncology unit altogether, and just leave it at that, because sometimes it can be very disabling when you have groups of people in a profession that project onto you limitations. And when we want to change our trajectory and we want to align with greater well-being, we know that projections and limitations do not serve, they do not help. To have a very positive vision and to open our heart to greater possibilities and potential, which is available to all of us here in this world, it requires our focus and concentration. And you cannot be focused and concentrated when you're scattered. Now, going back and forth from seeing doctors, seeing nurses, having blood tests, having scans is scattering. And it's constantly aligns your consciousness with the feeling that you are unwell, which, like I said, does not serve. So although it may seem like rather gung-ho for some people, certainly those that are very much limited in their perspective of seeing things, they would find that very gung-ho. I feel that this probably is the best course of action for me. And of course, plenty of being in nature, listening to the keys that sustain and uplift and nourish the being that I am, not the individual, because I've moved beyond that, because I'm very much aware of all my multidimensionality within me. But just being. I know that it's tempting to always be looking outside of ourselves and to do and to become better at and to improve. I used to do that too. I've got more courses and certificates lined up that you could shake a lettuce at, and for what good has it done for me? Because like I said yesterday, I failed a lot. I might have plenty of credentials, I might have them lining up inside folders in my desk, this certificate, that certificate, but what good is it unless you're actually applying yourself with it? If you apply yourself, that's a very different story. But I feel that often what we do is we look outside of ourselves because there's some lack within us. But yet if we go within inside of ourselves, we find everything that we ever need. The infinite stream of abundance is there. And it's certainly there in nature. Nature is abundant. I also want to address something that was left in the comments from yesterday about something that was said that about, I don't know, something about the earth or this 3D dimension or something being not particularly pleasant. What I would like to say to that is that in everything that we are being, we are looking to unite and unify. And there is no unification in that comment. So whilst that might have been the old paradigm, if you sit and focus on that and watch that burn, you will fire up with it. The best thing that anyone can do right now is to focus wholeheartedly on what you want to create. What do you want to create for this earth? Do you want to create more peace, love, and joy? Because you can do that. Or do you want to be creating more separation, divide? Because you can also do that. You get to choose. That's the beauty. You get to choose everything. And you might slowly choose, or you might choose quickly. That again is your choice. But you get to choose. So consider comments, leaving them in a space, leaving them for other people to witness. That might be what you felt at that moment, and maybe you don't feel that now, because I know that from time to time we can certainly be triggered or pulled or charged, and with strong moon energies and everything else. But leave the old behind, leave the old ways behind. Yes, there's lots of confusion and chaos and blah, 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 if you want to look at that. There always has been in the past, isn't there? Well, not from when we were first seeded, but since the fall of Atlantis, there has always been issues on this planet. But if we focus on them, we expand them. So what we focus on is vital to everything here, and not just here, but in the omniverse. And you can play whichever game you want to play. You really can. You can play whichever game you want to play. And what I wish to share is that we can unite, we can come together, we can expand lovingly, we can open our hearts, we can keep opening our hearts, we can keep opening our hearts, and we can support each other and nourish and foster and cultivate ways that support us by going out in nature, by receiving light codes and keys which sustain us, uplift us, nurture us, and support us to be our greatest versions here and now. And we can get the balance right between our joys and our purposes, and that we love, and that we wish to pursue for greater sharing. But don't get caught up in the polarity. Don't get caught up with what's right and what's wrong. Don't get caught up with pointing your finger at the next person when inside you might be in turmoil. That's such hypocrisy. So remember to be balanced in the way that you're living. Look to harmonize at every given opportunity. Look to increase the light in every given opportunity. Do not waste your presence by looking outside of yourself and pointing fingers here and there. How awful this is and how bad that is. Instead, look to harmonize. Look to be balanced. And what is balance? You want a balanced world? You want a happy world? You want a joyful world? You want a peaceful world? You have to embody everything that is by being it. And by being it, you must be being in balance. By being more than doing. Or by being in balance with doing. I send you love, peace, joy, bliss. Keep expanding love. Keep growing love. Knowing that you are love, and that all is love, and that there is no right and wrong, good, bad. Just keep focusing on what you want to expand. You have the power. Use your power wisely. Use it with everything that you have. Do not waste it. Be present with it now. Allow your presence to shine. Thank you for watching. My name is Zaza, and I come to you from the field. Many blessings.